Não queria ser o dia só a alvorada, muito menos ser o campo, me bastava o grão. Não queria ser a vida, porém o momento.
Hi there, and welcome back to another video snus review, and a special welcome to all my new subscribers. I hope you enjoy my videos. And today we're reviewing another Lössnus, and it is Mellgren's IPA edition single cut. And this is a very special snus review, and I'll tell you why. As you might have seen there, it does say blended by Conny Andersson 2015. And Conny Andersson is a Swedish guy who's actually worked on tobacco fields in Cuba. Then he came back to Sweden and worked for Swedish Match, where he tried to introduce these fine types of tobacco into their factory. He worked on their cigars and also on the snus side of things. He actually made some of the early cardus snuses for Swedish Match, and that is Swedish Match's most premium snus brand ever. Then he moved on from Swedish Match to GN Tobacco, where he made their most premium snus, the Islay Whiskey Snus. You might have heard about that one. That one has actually got 12-year-old Bowmore single malt whiskey in it. Now he's got his own company, and he also works for AG Snus or AG Snus. And the latest creation there is crafted snus whiskey, original and white portion. There's another whiskey snus there. And he's also made this Mellgren's IPA edition for Mellgren's fine tobacco. So it's really exciting background there. Should mean that the tobacco in this one is pretty good. It does say IPA edition, and IPA is an American type of craft beer called India Pale Ale, and that is his inspiration for this snus. He was inspired by a beer called Sculpin IPA, and I'm a beer geek as well, and I really enjoy that beer. It's one of my favorite IPAs actually, so it'll be really interesting to see if I get any hop characters from this one. So let's get into it. Wow, check that out. That is not ground tobacco, it's cut tobacco, which is unlike anything I've seen before in a snus, and that is to get the closer to the tobacco flavor. So that should be really interesting. And while I hand bake a prilla of this, you can read here the different types of tobacco that went into this specific snus. Check that out. When you're doing that, you can actually see, I hope you can see that, see the leaves coming out. It reminds me of tea leaves. So it's really nice to see, very different to the Grov and Göteborg's Rapé that I've had. Okay, put this one in. It's not quite as easy to hand bake as those two because of the tobacco being cut, but it's really soft and moist and beautiful to work with. And the smell of this one. Oh, that is completely unlike the other ones I've had. It's beautiful. It's really close to the tobacco. It's subtle, elegant, got citrus in there. Actually reminds me of Earl Grey tea. And it's really fine, close to the original product, and I'm sure that's what he wanted. So I'll be excited to finish this can, get back to you, give you a verdict on Mellgren's IPA edition single cut. It's my last prilla of Mellgren's IPA edition. And because it is the IPA edition, I will have an all-day IPA from Founders. Yep, Founders. An American IPA. Couldn't find Sculpin, which the snus is inspired by. but this is a lovely IPA as well. And the snus is actually made with hop oil, so that's really interesting. One thing that's really interesting and exciting about this snus is that I can bring it into work and use it there because it doesn't cause any mudslide, you know, when it starts dripping down and you start looking ridiculous when you talk to people. So I wouldn't normally bring a Lös snus into work. This stuff, unbelievable. I've had it in for 2 hours. It does, because it's cut, it has a different consistency. It sits there perfectly. So it's a beautiful snus to use in that sense. And it's very subtle. It doesn't release an awful lot of flavor. So at work, I find myself sort of licking it and taking some of the tobacco down on my tongue, and I pretty much eat this stuff, you know, because it's so close to the original tobacco taste. So if you're looking for a tobacco-centric snus, look no further. This is the one. This is probably the highest quality tobacco I've had in any snus. Does it taste of hops? Well, I wouldn't really say it does. It's very citrusy. So it's kept very simple actually. It doesn't have a lot of extract or anything to make you distract you from the actual tobacco. It's all about the tobacco and the clean, subtle citrus. Makes it a really beautiful product, but it's not extremely taste forward. That's probably why I keep sort of eating it more or less, because it's what's there. It's really, really nice. I don't really get a buzz from it. It's got around 10 milligrams per gram of nicotine, so it's not really a strong product, but it's fine. You know, it's all about the taste, really. What's interesting about this one as well is this is batch 1, and I think it's fair to talk about different batches when you're talking about a crafted snus like this. It's not like a mass production run where it all tastes the same. This has been crafted, released in a small batch, and then there will be a second batch, and I've heard that there will be changes made to it. So we'll see what those changes are. It would be really interesting to find out that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a can of that and review that separately to this one, because this is really good. If you're looking for the quality of the tobacco, this is the one to go for. I really enjoy it. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. So that's in the 5 out of 5 range. I think there can still be improvements made to it, so we'll see. You know, I need to have a bit of scale available for the future snoozes as well. But it really is up there. One of my favorite snoozes I've ever had. As I said, it's not really hop forward. It has a little bit of hop in it, and it's citrusy, which hops have that citrus character to it. But hops are, to me, also very fruity. It's not really fruity. It's all about the tobacco and citrus. So to me, it's almost more like tea, which is not a bad thing. Almost like Earl Grey. I did smell the Earl Grey. It doesn't really smell like Earl Grey, but it's towards that direction. So it's a subtle, elegant snus for the connoisseur, I would say. It's also a little bit more expensive, but the quality is also a bit higher. You pay for quality, like with everything else. So see it as a, you know, put your tie on, maybe a little whiskey or something. It's that sort of, it's instead of the cigar, basically. It's that sort of range of snoozes we're talking about. It might be alone on the market in that segment, and I'm hoping that we'll see more of these in the future. Very exciting snus, and I really look forward to batch 2. So cheers to that.
Bateira fica por cima, ostra nasce do lodo,